Good evening, everyone. And once again, we have Desh ji here with us for this very, very interesting and exciting session. Welcome, Desh ji.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jaydev. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Desh ji, coming to the first point is that Modi ji is not attending the Asian summit, the ASEAN summit, but instead he is seeing it virtually, and he has sent Jaishankar, for that summit. But the question in everyone's mind is what's the reason why he's not attending the summit? Is there anything more to it? Because as we have spoken earlier regarding the SCO meet, where there was an, people say until and unless it is verified, there was a, assassination threat and all those things. And Modi ji sat in Putin's car for a very long time, and it is very, very unconventional indeed. So, is there anything more? Do you read anything more to this?
Yeah, because there have been, like we discussed that last time also, right? So I think the interesting thing is around that same time, and a little bit after that also, there have been, a full scale purge in PLA after that. So, 56%, by some, reports, 56% of the Chinese PLA generals have been purged out. So all the, theater commands have been changed. So, one of the questions that one needs to ask is, did that have anything to do with the RIC or Russia, India, China relationship that was going on? Because that is not normal. This is, by many, analysis, this is the biggest PLA purge since Mao Zedong. So, it's not normal. So basically, Russia and China are preparing for a for a situation where they feel that some of their generals and some of their internal security architecture has been compromised, because it could very well have been possible that somehow the FSB or Russia's intelligence agency, they probably got the first idea of what was going on.
You mean the KGB?
Yeah, what used to be KGB is now FSB.
Yeah.
Right. So in Soviet time, it used to be a KGB. Right. So now their intelligence, the Russian intelligence, may have gotten the understanding first, and that is why, I think it becomes even more important for China to take stock of situations at home, because it's quite clear that somehow someone actually infiltrated the whole thing. Now there has been a discussion of how that Terence, the CIA officer who was found dead in Dhaka, was also actually the person who was going to do this hit job, but he was found dead. Some people on the internet are saying he was probably poisoned by polonium or something. That could be possible. There is, in these kind of situations, there is no confirmation. There is no because US didn't even say anybody died, when anybody was asked. So this will never be confirmed. This has never been confirmed, and so there will be no hard evidence. It's just connecting of dots. People who are there in the intelligence would know. People outside would not know. People like us would never know what happened, and we can just connect dots about how things happened. He was found dead on the 31st, but he had been, probably entered the room around 29th.
31st of August.
31st of August. Yes, 31st of August. So if you look at that, then it would have been touch and go. I don't know how he was planning to go from Dhaka to China, but uh, there is a lot brewing up there, and I think even like Pakistan is playing its role in this whole thing. Obviously, China realizes, Pakistan's like maneuvers against it and for the US. So China is also kind of, taking its hands off the Pakistan meanwhile, and will continue to do so because like there is like very little that they can actually get out of them, except that they might think that they have some kind of control over India because of that. But otherwise, there is not much that they can get. But um, every government, whether it is like Putin's government or Xi's government or Modi's government, like I think they need to be like very serious about the threat that they might be seeing going forward. So world may keep on calling it as authoritarianism or whatever it is. That's a like nice way to kind of put them on a defensive. But the fact is that everyone like needs to secure their own home, their own turf. So when Modi ji decided that he would not go for ASEAN like summit, I think that was one of the main considerations. And also, President Trump has this urge uh, to do strange actions. He was trying to actually like put Munir and Modi ji together, like when he was coming back from Canada, like in earlier on, like when Modi ji refused to come to the US. Like I think like he might be trying a similar kind of drama. So that is why I think Modi ji, like very wisely, like decided not to be there, because there could be several, times during the like summit, during the like various sessions, when he could be either demeaned, or they might like try to like do something. Like many things could happen. So I think like instead of providing like instead of succumbing to those kind of tactics, I think it was better to stay at home and send Jaishankar ji there. So I think like there will be, I mean, it will be tough to kind of handle that, because even in the Gaza Peace Summit, like a lower level officer was actually sent, not even Jaishankar ji. So where all the heads of states were there. So I think like that is how the game is being played right now.
Right. So it's quite apparent that this guy who was, taken care of, the U.S. Special Forces officer Terrence Jackson, according to reports, he was, going to train the Bangladesh army on Saint Martin's Island, according to some unconfirmed reports. So that's the reason why he was, taken care of.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like that's what people are saying, that like he was going to be, working along with the Bangladeshi, army, but his his mission may have been to secure Saint Martin's Island. And there was an unconfirmed rumor about even an ISI like agent being killed like 2 days back. Now I don't know. Some people have said that it happened, but there is no report about that. Like, for Terrence Jackson, I think there was a report. I mean, there were several reports, right? But about this, there has been no report. But there have been, people like talking about that on social media. So as far as that entire area is concerned, from Bangladesh down all the way to Saint Martin's and then to the Indian Ocean, the US would like to have a presence there, very strong presence there, and like it is to have influence and control over both China as well as India. And that is why those games will keep going on. So even within Bangladesh, things may not remain the way they are right now. The people might think they are, peaceful, but things can go wrong extremely fast there as well.
Yeah, so India needs to watch their borders as well, on the Bangladesh side as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because, sometime back, actually, Munir actually said that maybe the next aggression or attack may happen from the east. So I think that is what he was trying to say. But in terms of India taking care of things, I think India will let Afghanistan take the lead on the western side, and whereas on the eastern front of India, there there are several different options out there. The Arakan army is there, and the other state and non-state actors both are there. So India has a lot of leverage, and I think that is why they stopped taking the bandwidth from Bangladesh for the northeastern states, because that way India was held hostage. So this should have happened a long time back. I don't know why we were still dependent on Bangladesh for that, but it's good that it has been taken off, and India controls its own internet and connectivity in northeastern areas, because that could have been a big problem.
So, Dins has a point that PM has to be very careful during election rallies and has to deliberately avoid overseas visits.
I totally agree with that, because it's been very these are the areas and these are the points when a lot of different things can be done. So PM really has to be very, very careful. And like we have said earlier also, what happened in Tashkent was very well orchestrated, and thankfully in Tianjin, that did not happen. But there are enough people. If somebody could shoot at Trump in the US, in spite of being a presidential candidate where the security should have been high, imagine what can happen anywhere else. Because after all, they have taken out Shinzo Abe, whoever it was. People say it was China, some people say it was US. Whoever it was, those kind of things can happen even in Japan. I know in Japan the security is not as tight for the politicians as it is in India, but still, right? And India has faced this quite a lot. So Modi ji really needs to be careful, because a lot of these things are happening and people are trying to take care of it, whether it's in Russia or China. Like I said, that big purge that is going on in China, is not random. It has some reason why. And the similar kind of changes keep happening in Russia as well. So Modi ji really needs to be careful, because the moles and the issues can happen are often actually there within the party itself, within the circle itself, even within PMO.
Right. If you remember, let's not forget the Punjab incident where Modi ji's car was stranded for 20 minutes in the flyover.
Right.
If you remember.
Right. I totally remember that. I mean, nobody can forget the way it was unfolding, and anything could have happened. I think it was many people say that many things have had been quickly put in place by the army to ensure that nothing happens there. So in that sense, I think India's security and intelligence needs to be very, very careful, right now, because things are not good, and whether we like it, we don't like it. One thing is absolutely clear, that US and the Western intelligence agencies have a very, very strong presence and capabilities everywhere in the world, even now. like even today. Because see, the thing is, you can sell the opportunity of someone or someone's kids going to the US or Europe, but you cannot sell that opportunity like of some kids going to China or Russia, or some people going to China or Russia, because like nobody finds that to be a very appealing kind of a situation. So there are a lot of levers that countries have that they can use.
Yeah. So coming to the last point is that what is very interesting is that regarding the nuclear codes of Pakistan, and what is in an interview with news media, John Kirako, who spent 15 years in the CIA, uh, he uh, he made a very big statement that how Washington purchased Pakistan's former President Pervez Musharraf with millions in aid, and claimed that the US controlled Pakistan's nuclear arsenal. So, yeah. So, even now, right, Pakistan is totally controlled by the US in a way.
Yeah. So I think it was both back and forth, and like obviously Pakistan had a lot of information and knowledge. Like one thing, I'll tell you, and it's a matter of like record. I'm not like making this up, or like it's not some state secret. So when the in 2001, when the attack had still to happen in June of 2001, Ahmad Shah Massoud, the guy who actually threw the Soviets out of Afghanistan, it was not Taliban. Again, I'm saying it was not US, it was not Pakistan, because US and Pakistan, one, did not invest in like Ahmad Shah Massoud, or invested very little, gave more to Hikmatyar. Second, they were targeting him. So Ahmad Shah Massoud actually went in 2001 to Brussels. There are videos you can see on YouTube. Like he is there in Brussels. He was like giving press conferences and all that. He actually, there was a French movie also, serial also around this, and there was a scene there as well. But like this has been shared by many sources that Ahmad Shah Massoud went to a CIA agent and said that if something happens to me, you can be rest assured that some major event is going to happen on your soil. And then what happened was that ISIS or Al Qaeda had a European module. That module had, I think, Moroccan, jihadis. They came to Pakistan. They trained for 3 months, and then they had gone to Afghanistan, tried to a Panjshir, like where the Ahmad Shah Massoud was there, try to pose as journalists and then get an interview with him. They had to wait for 3 weeks, but they finally did. That happened on September 9th, and he was and there was a bomb blast. He was killed. And then after that, September 11 happened. Now, the reason why that happened was because actually Taliban had told Al Qaeda that you are our guest. You may do this 9/11 and like probably go away or whatever, but anybody who's trying to attack Afghanistan or us will actually use these guys, the Northern Alliance. So you need to neutralize him first before you do the 9/11. So that was a deal between them. And like once Al Qaeda had taken care of its side of the deal, they were allowed to go ahead with the 9/11. That's how 9/11 happened. And I think like when Ahmad Shah Massoud died, that was also a trigger to Muhammad Atta and the rest of the folks that now we should actually do what needs to be done. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Lieutenant General Mahmood, who was ISI chief, he actually had Omar Syed, the guy who killed Daniel Pearl and whom actually India let go in IC 814 hijacking, he wired $100,000 through him to Muhammad Atta, and he distributed it to the rest of the folks, rest of the hijackers. And 2 days before that, they actually took the money back and wired it back uh, to Omar Syed. So that may have been the trigger. Now, like what happened was after that, and like I'm giving this background because I need to come to that point, like where I'm like trying to say, like after that, what happened was that the Northern Alliance commanders really went mad after that because Ahmad Shah Massoud was like a great guy for like for them. So they went after Al Qaeda and Taliban like hammer and tongs, and they cornered them in Kunduz. 33,000 of Al Qaeda and Taliban actually surrendered to them. It is said that 5,000 or 4,000 or something around that was still left. At that time, Musharraf called Dick Cheney. And Dick Cheney and Bush gave them a free air passage for four nights, 4 to 5 nights, I think. And 5,000 people, according to the Indian intelligence like agencies, were taken out. And so Musharraf actually did a deal with the Americans at that time. And yes, they spent a lot of, because see, so this entire air passage happened around November 25th, 2001. If you really look at it carefully, the entire Afghan war would have been finished if US's main aim was to finish Al Qaeda and Taliban. That, by end of November, the war would have been finished. But that was not what they were after. They did not want to finish Al Qaeda and Taliban. That war went on for 20 years after that. They spent $2 trillion, which all of that, there are studies now, over 90% of it went to the US firms, which are military industrial complex. They made all the money. Who was left like bearing the, entire thing? The US taxpayers. Because now the payment for the interest payment on the debt is so high because of this $2 trillion debt that has been taken. 2024 was the first time in the history of US that the interest payment on the debt were higher than the defense spending. That is the first step for the falling of an empire. Like that has been confirmed by many people. So when this happened, this whole $2 trillion was spent. That may have been the reason why it was allowed to happen. Then these guys, like were given money. Like Pakistan, like was given a fresh lease of life, which Kriya Kao is talking about. That there was a significant like influence that like US had over like Pakistan. It could have been possible at that time that like US actually got because there are multiple reports about that US does have a kill switch in terms of the nukes for like Pakistan. That is why they are saying that in Noor Khan base, where India had say like we bombed and like it was through that 45 centimeter hole that it went through, and it destroyed everything in there. They in Noor Khan base, most of the people they say were actually Americans. They were not Pakistanis. So when the attack happened on the Noor Khan base and Kirana Hill, that's when suddenly US actually jumped into action. Before that, they hadn't. So there are a lot of things which have happened, and like nothing of this is actually state secret. Like it's out in the open. Like you just have to connect the dots. That's all.
That was a wonderful session, Deshi, and we will see you again next week.
Sure.
Until then, thank you very much, and Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Shri Ram.